Today in this video, we're going to talk about the biggest home buying mistakes that people make and why they have buyer's remorse. Check it out. Hi, I'm Rhonda Burgess, and I'm a real estate broker and mortgage underwriter here in the Nashville, Tennessee area, and my firm is Southern Living Realty Partners. All right, okay. First of all, I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers, Miss Latoya out in Texas, because honestly, Miss Latoya asked me about this, growing home buyer regret, and to address it some months ago. And you know, I've been covered up, but I ain't forgot. So let's talk about, I know y'all are seeing all the videos, especially on TikTok, where people are talking about they have home buyer remorse where they bought a house. So let's talk about some of those mistakes you can avoid. Okay. The first thing, I saw somebody saying, yeah, and I addressed this in the last video that I did. I'll link that, about the properties not to buy. Again, you buying a house that's close to a railroad track or something of that magnitude that's going to affect your enjoyment of that property. Okay. Not only that, I don't see a lot of people doing the research. Listen, research the area, especially if you're looking at buying into a neighborhood and there's a whole lot of empty space around that house. Whether you buying in the city, you buying in the country, you buying wherever. You know what? Go look up the town or the cities or the parish, whatever, the villages, the government's website, and go to the planning commission. Go to the planning commission, because I'm not saying you got to go to the meetings, but the minutes of all those meetings are out there. So if you buying a house and it's backing up to some open land or whatever, there's some open land around you, you can go look and see what's coming in that neighborhood, what's going to be built. Because again, it takes years normally for even a subdivision to be approved, from buying the land, rezoning the land, developing the land, everything. So if you're not sure or you don't feel I suggest you do your research. Go look and see what has been approved or what is coming down the pipe for people to approve. Okay? Because if they got this subdivision approved, believe me, there's other subdivisions going to probably come up in that same area where they're going to be building. Excuse me. So you're going to have construction. You may have to live next door to construction for 2-3 years. If that's a make it or break it for you, you need to decide that before you buy that house. Don't go in blind because you haven't read anything. You haven't looked at anything and you just think, oh, this is cute, I want to do this. Then that's on you. That is on you. Okay. The second thing, yes, I always preach, get a home inspection, get a home inspection, get a home inspection. Okay. 2 things about the home inspection. Be there. I always advise my buyers to be there. You're not going to get in the home inspector's way. Okay. But be there, because the home inspectors that I use, they are always cool with pointing out the stuff that they find and the stuff that they don't find. Let me give you an example. When the home inspector looks at the water heater, they take a picture of that seal. They look it up, the serial numbers on there to tell you how old that water heater is. And not only that, 9 times out of 10 in their inspection report, they tell you how long is the lifespan. So for instance, if the water heater has an average lifespan of 15 years and this water heater is 14 years old, they're going to point that out. It's not going to be like a big, like a big red arrow on it or nothing, because if the water heater is functioning, it's working. But they're letting you know ahead of time. Listen, that the average lifespan is only 15 years and you're on year 14. So you need to get in your mind, either you and your agent need to go over and y'all need to negotiate for a new water heater or some concessions for a new water heater. Or if you in that, you in a bidding war and you just gotta have this property, and you're gonna overlook that stuff, cool, that's on you. I didn't say I'm not going either way with that. But what I'm telling you is then you need to set that money aside and anticipate that you're going to have to replace that water heater within the first 12 months of your ownership. And that can go for the water heater. That can go for the heat and air unit. They will take a picture. Listen, read the inspection. I know it feels overwhelming because they're going to give you like a 50-page report, right? And they got pictures of all of this and saying that. Read it. Because if there's something in there that freaks you out, that you're not going to be able to deal with. If they telling you that the heat and air unit was making a weird noise and it sounds like the compressor, it sounds like the engine on the compressor, like it's going to go out or whatever. Okay, if that freaks you out, then step back. That may not be the property for you. But read your home inspections. They tell you the age and the average age. You can look this stuff up. We got all this new AI now. You can look it up yourself to see what's the average age of a water heater. If it's made by State Stove or Whirlpool or whoever, you know what I'm saying? You can look this stuff up. Number 3, I would say do not buy a flip. Do not buy a flip property. Because listen, a lot of these people that's out here flipping right now, they just like me and you. They sitting on YouTube all day. They on YouTube University. And a lot of them think they can do a flip just from watching HGTV and YouTube. And so they'll go in there and this house may have been awful, okay? And a lot of times they just make it pretty. Meaning they just worry about the aesthetics. They put in some, either that luxury vinyl flooring, or they put in some hardwood or something and put some pretty little paint colors and put new appliances in there and ain't done nothing about the mechanics of the house. Like if it's old, you may have old lead pipes. Okay? Those lead pipes, every day they're getting older. They're going to corrode. They're going to break. And what you need to understand is, especially as a first-time buyer, from the street into your house is your responsibility. Let me say that again. That's not the water company. So from where they put that meter out at the street to get the water into your house, that's your responsibility. And believe me, those will be the first pipes to bust. Those will be the first old lead pipes to fail. Okay? Or you'll get in there later on and find out that they left that lead pipe coming off the street and it's meeting PVC pipe that's going into your house or whatever. And you can't mix materials like that. Okay. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So again, I do not suggest you buy a flip. I don't care who's done it. I don't care if this person tells you they flipped 20 houses, they flipped 40 houses, they've done whatever. Don't do it. Do not buy a flip. I've never had really a really good experience. If you really want something where you want something newer, don't do the flip. Go find some new construction if that's the case. Because at least the new construction will come with that 1-year builder's warranty. Okay, and I've just seen too many people have a bad experience with a flip. Don't go the flip route. If you're buying an older house, because I know in a lot of areas you may only have access to houses in your price range, in your neighborhood that you want to be in, that may be 50, 60 or older years old. Get a plan on this. There's going to be things that's going to be fixed. There's going to be needing to be fixed, some major systems. Okay. Like I just talked about the lead pipes. Your electricity may be old tube and knob. And it's not like the breakers and everything that we have now. Okay. So if that's what you're looking at, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but what you got to keep in your mind and in your wallet that you're going to have to replace this. You're going to have to update it. Set that money aside, but it's going to have to be updated because it will fail. Just like what they're dealing with right now, my Florida people with the condos. Concrete only lasts so long. And then it ages and it starts cracking and breaking and everything. It's just like anything else. It's going to need to be replaced. So just be cognizant of that when you're looking at a house, okay? Because you need to keep in your mind that a lot of these major systems will probably have to be replaced. Next thing I want to talk about is I see a lot of these people with this home buyer's remorse talking about my payment went up, my payment went up, my payment went up. And I was supposed to be on a fixed rate. It wasn't supposed to go up. It wasn't supposed to go up. Listen, your mortgage insurance is your mortgage payment is PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. The principal and interest. That means that the interest rate won't change. Okay? As you pay down your mortgage, your principal will come down. And the interest rate is going to be a fixed interest rate. But the T and the I, the taxes and the insurance, subject to change daily. Almost, it feels like. But it will change. Listen, I bought my first house in 93. In 93. I was 23 years old with a 2-year-old. Okay? Again, I bought new construction that time, and I was already budgeting for, remember, when you buy new construction, that taxes is only priced on the dirt, on the bare dirt. And next year, when the tax assessor comes back around and the house is finished and all that beautiful stuff, they're going to assign a value. And so your value is going to be similar to what's in that neighborhood. So the first year you may be paying taxes based on the dirt on $25,000, whereas when they come back around, you're going to be paying taxes based on $225,000. Okay, I have never, even to this day, I put extra in my payment into my escrow account. Like, there's lines when you get a mortgage, it say, are you paying additional principal, additional escrow, whatever. I put extra in my escrow account. I have never, I think I've owned houses since 93. Yeah. So I think only once did I get a check back where they said, oh, hey, you paid in too much on your escrow. Ever. In all those years. In fact, my escrow this year, because I paid extra, when everything got paid, because it's that time of the year right here at the end of the year is when they pay taxes. My insurance is paid in June or July, something like that. But when taxes are being paid at the end of the year, because the tax bill comes out normally in October, and most of your mortgage companies, when you are escrowing your taxes and insurance, most of them will pay it in December, will pay your property taxes in December. If you're not escrowing, normally your municipality will tell you when those taxes have to be paid. And again, it's normally before the end of the year. Okay. So, I put an extra $40 a month into my payment. So if my payment is $1,500, I pay $1,540. $1,500 is for my PITI, and I pay another $40, and I designate it to go into my escrow account. If you don't like those surprises, pay extra into your escrow account. If you are not disciplined enough to set that money to the side and not deal with it, not take it out, not want to just, you want to go somewhere, you want to do something else with that money. If you're not disciplined enough to do that, then just put it in, include it with your payment. That's what I do. It's easier for me because, see, automatically off the rip, I calculate it. Because, see, I got tired of getting those bills every year at the end of the year, around about October, talking about, oh, girl, yeah, we sorry, you $400 short on your escrow. You $500 short on your escrow because your taxes went up, because your insurance went up. And again, those are things that you don't have no control over, but you can best believe they're going to go up. Let's not kid ourselves. When I get so irritated when people say, well, my payment was supposed to be fixed. Okay, when have you ever had control over taxes and insurance? That's like death. You gotta pay taxes. And these lenders are not going to let you go without insurance. So there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way around. Those things go up. Okay. And just like I talked about in one of the other videos about, how to get a mortgage in 2025, I'll link the playlist. But I talk about the property. If you maybe had a claim, or maybe something happened, maybe it was a storm and a tree fell on your roof, or something happened like this, your premium is liable to go up. It's just like, when you have a little fender bender, you drive and you have a little fender bender or something, it's easier for you. You be like, hey, let me just look, let's just work this out outside of insurance. It's the same thing with homeowners. Don't think it's different. Don't think it's different. It's not. I'm telling y'all. So you may end up having a claim, and it may not even be your fault, but that will change your premium. Your insurance company may pull out of your state for whatever reason. And that could be a big national company. That may be the state provider. If like you in Florida or somewhere like that, they may pull out. So your payment will change. Just know that just because you have a fixed rate mortgage, that's only on the PI, principal and interest. That's the only thing that affects. That means that they can't come, you can't have a 6% interest rate and then tomorrow they say, oh, you know what, we're going to charge you 12 just because we feel like it. They can't do that, but your taxes and your insurance can change. So come with the mindset that I'm going to put extra money in my escrow account. So that way I would rather either they tell me, okay, you good, you don't have to pay in no extra, because if your escrow is short, what they're going to tell you is how much is short. And they're going to say, you got really like 3 options. You can send us a check and you can pay that whole lump. And that means your mortgage payment will stay the same. Or maybe you can split it in 2 payments, and then your mortgage payment will stay the same. Or we can just break that up over 12 months and increase your payment that amount. See, I don't want you to, I'd rather increase my payment myself. You understand what I'm saying? So there's several different ways you can do it if you have a shortage, but just be aware that 9 times, I swear y'all, it be some years where I did not have an increase. That means it just stayed the same, but I was already paying extra. Okay. So just know that put the extra in your escrow in your payment if you're not disciplined enough to pay that separately yourself. Set you some money to the side for repairs. You're going to have repairs. You're going to have stuff. Let me tell y'all, one day, it was about 4 months ago, I'm sitting here in my office and I hear something. I'm like, that sounds like rain. It was raining inside my house. It was raining inside my house. Let me tell you what had happened. We have a unit upstairs in the attic. One of the heat and air unit, the heat and air and the return thing is up in the attic. And the line to run that water out to the outside of the house got clogged, backed up. So that water started backing up. And even, it have that pan that the unit sits in, that the return sits in. It overflowed the pan and was just coming down through the drywall. It was raining on the inside of the house. So luckily, we were here and I heard it and everything. And again, I called my mama, got a good handyman. He came, told us what it was, fixing everything. But now we had to do $2,000 worth of drywall. Just drywall. And this is just in the hallway here on the 2nd floor. Luckily, we were at home. It didn't affect our hardwood floors. It's all hardwood where the water was coming in. These are the things that you just have to set aside. You know what? If it ain't nothing, but if you ain't setting aside nothing but $50, put some money to the side. There's going to be things that's going to have to be fixed. Things break. Stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? So put that to the side, but get off of the superficial stuff. Oh, I was just happy. Listen, okay, we'll replace that drywall. And the drywall's white. Now, it ain't even been painted. Okay? Not a big deal for me right now. Because we'll get to it. It's other things that we was already planning on doing. So don't let the superficial, aesthetics and stuff like that blow you out the water. Get the major stuff fixed. Like if something break or something like that, set you some money to the side. Keep you a credit card with a low balance. Keep your credit up. You can go to Home Depot or whoever, or Lowe's or whatever the home improvement is in your area. Go. A lot of times they have financing if that's what you need to do, so that you don't have to come out the lump sum, and maybe you can get the financing on a card, on a credit card or something, and then they can, you can make lower payment. You can make payments instead of having to pay the whole thing up front. But this is what comes with home ownership. This is what comes with home ownership. Even to this day, I would still rather own my home and be able to do whatever I want to do. I can play my music as loud as I want to. I can play my music. I can paint. I can do whatever because it's mine. Whereas in an apartment, you can't do that. And one of the other benefits is of home ownership. When you have a mortgage, let me say this. When you don't pay your rent, they will get you out. Normally, they're going to start that eviction process. They're going to get you out quick. You know what I'm saying? It may take them 30, 60 days, but they're going to get you out of there. Okay. It's going on your credit immediately. And then, once you have a judgment where you've been evicted and all that good stuff, it's going to be so hard for you to get another apartment, for you to get anything. When you run into financial hardship and you have a mortgage, whether it's with FHA, VA, USDA, conventional, even, I don't care who your mortgage is with. When you log into your mortgage account, there's a button up there that says, are you experiencing, have you been a victim? Have you been impacted by a natural disaster in your area? Are you experiencing financial hardship? Do you see they asking you these questions? Okay. If so, click this button. If so, give us a holler. Call this number right here. We have people, we have loss mitigation people standing by. We'll help you. And especially if you've been impacted by a natural disaster, they will work with you. I'm going to say this again. I've said this in so many videos. The mortgage company don't want your house. Let me say that again. The mortgage company don't want your house. They want the money. They don't want your house. The mortgage company don't know nothing about fixing up houses, selling houses, none of that. They don't want to do that. They just want their money. So, and a lot of these lenders and especially these government-backed programs, they have an incentive. They try to keep you in your property. They try to keep you in there. So if you run into a financial difficulty, let's say your taxes double, right? And you don't see no way you can make that mortgage payment with them new taxes, call them. Call them. I told y'all, closed mouth don't get fed. What? I told you are talking to real people. These are real people. They may have experienced the same thing you have. They may be living in the same area and been impacted by the same flood, storm, whatever that's going on in your area. These are real people. They don't want your house. I can't tell y'all enough. They don't want your house. Now, let's say I know, now we post-COVID, during COVID especially, some people went years. Some people went years without making a payment. Okay. On average, they won't even start, if we didn't have COVID, they won't even start the foreclosure process till after you've missed 4 months, to after you're 120 days late. Listen, take advantage of that. They don't want your house. So if you experiencing these things, call your mortgage company. You don't know what they can do. They may say, yeah, you know what? We've been getting a lot of calls from people in your state, in your county that's been impacted this way. And this is what we can do. And they'll give you options. But there's no way. I understand people have remorse because maybe you bought, out in a country and you a city person, right? Or something has happened and now you don't like the school district or whatever. But there are ways to work it out where you don't have to have this type of remorse. Again, do your homework ahead of time. Make sure you read your inspection report. Go to the home inspection. If you got a problem with your mortgage, call your mortgage people. Call them. Call them. Let them know you by first name. You call so much if you have to, but that way you can save your credit. You can save, your property or whatever, and don't get caught up into the aesthetics. That's just my opinion.